I retired from the military 30 years, all over the country, Japan, Korea, Alaska, Hawaii. And in fact, when I was on a remote tour in Korea in 69, 70, which was when the neuroblastoma was found in our daughter.
And I had taken her to the pediatrician. My grandmother had been there and she thought she noticed a lump on her jaw. So I took her to the doctor, and he wasn't concerned in that she was about 16 months old and they're learning to walk, and we had stairs and it was wooden playpens and all those things. But he said, bring her back in a couple of weeks. Well, when we went back in a couple of weeks, he was really concerned and said, you are going to be in St. Louis tomorrow with this child. And so we were, my mother and our daughter Lori, and we got in the car and away we went, and obviously they kept her.
They just said that has got cancer written all over it, and it's not very common. It's not like leukemia. It's very few children get it.
And when you have somebody tell you your child has a 20% chance, whoa, that is scary. And I just remember how cold that office was.
Well, yeah, we hadn't been introduced much to cancer at that point, but yeah, we were. But like I said, we went on to Japan, and they took care of her very well. And Dr. Grufferman, bless his soul, he now lives in Santa Fe.
She was a beautiful little girl. She was walking, she had long blonde hair, and then when she saw the clinic, she started to cry.
She died about 2 months before her 4th birthday.
You know, the memories of the frustration of treating a beautiful young girl and not really being able to do anything.
We went through the typical, you know, why me, and
anger.
Yeah, and anger.
It's okay.
I don't know why that.
Because you're a dad. When we came in 1975, we were here for, 8 years, 7 years. Made friends in the community. That's where our church home was. And when we came back, it was wonderful because those people were still here. I think that helped make the transition to retirement much easier because we just kind of melted right back into the friendship that we have.
I met the Looks about 20 years ago at a cancer center function at the old Loveless campus. And we happened to be seated next to each other, and they asked me what I did, and I told them I did pediatric oncology.
Ended up talking about Julie, and I said, what are they treating the kids with now? And we were amazed that it was the same drugs that they'd used on Julie.
Well, they had more, but still the same two from 1970.
When they told me about that, and I said, you know, that's very interesting. A lot of things haven't changed very much since those years. And we discussed, among other things, very briefly, perhaps setting up an endowment in Julie's name. And we discussed that and ways to make a difference, and here we are 20 years later.
I think Hunt and Ann really wanted to create a tribute and a legacy for their daughter, Julianne. When they talk about Julianne then, and even today, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of pain. I don't think any of us ever get over losing a child, particularly to a cancer diagnosis. And Hunt and Ann really wanted to create a tribute and legacy to Julianne and raise funds that in her memory and in her honor would be used to further research and treatment for children with cancer.
They've stayed very involved and very committed. They've got their friends, their family, and acquaintances all involved in this one way or another. Everybody's giving, and that made a big difference. It wasn't just them.
It means a lot to them, and they don't want the recognition. I know that. They just want their little girl, and who knows who else is suffering right now with that same problem. And it's just time for all of us to step up. And they're an example, so we follow their example. Good people.
We're excited. The fund has grown. They are very gracious. Every year they help us put together a wonderful flyer that goes in our Christmas cards to everybody. It's our family and friends that have really made this account grow. We've been lucky. We've had, unfortunately, several of our friends we've lost, and they've been very, very generous to Julie's fund in their wills. And they just, between the foundation and the Cancer Center, we couldn't ask for anybody better. It's just been great. We appreciate it all.
The looks were special in that they did what they did because they just, I think, are generous, caring, giving people. One thing that probably got them involved was they enjoyed sports.
And that's where we started one of the first things, and that was what we called the 5th year scholarship.
I remember them coming in all the time and assisting with all different things. At that time, we had many, many, many interns. The looks took them in. I mean, really kind of as parents, they had them over for dinner, whatever it might have been, they became kind of foster parents to a lot of those interns, many of which have become ADs at other schools now. Big successes from that internship program, and the looks were a big part of that.
It really instills hope and a sense of the greater good of humanity. Like even through your own loss, that you are able to find a reason and meaning to make things better for people around you or after you.
We're really fortunate here at UNM and in New Mexico that the Looks chose to make New Mexico their home, because that's going to benefit the future of our children and children across the world.
We just hope to play a small part in getting something done, and there's somebody out there somewhere who's going to be the first survivor.
And there will be.
You just hope that you can play a small part in helping for a breakthrough.